Hi everyone, it's Dawn. I hope that you had a nice weekend. We had a nice weekend. It was pretty uneventful. We didn't have any obligations this weekend. You may recall that last weekend we were out of town on a little weekend getaway, and then we had the Independence Day holiday in the middle of the week. And so I got a little bit behind in chores and grocery shopping and all that kind of household stuff. So that's what my husband and I did this weekend. My sons both had to work at their jobs, and then they wanted to see their friends and their girlfriends. So they came and went, and we fed them, and they ate a couple meals with us, but they were basically doing their own thing. And my husband and I walked our dogs, we did yard work, I did some housework, and we all need a weekend like that because otherwise things just don't get done. So I feel good going into the week. I feel caught up and, it feels good. So let me know what you did this weekend. Did you do anything fun? Was it uneventful like my weekend? I feel like sometimes ordinary weekends are the best weekends when nothing too exciting happens and the weather is nice. That's always key for me. Beautiful sunny skies and warm weather. And I just love getting outside and hiking and walking the dogs. And I love when we make the time to do that kind of thing. So yeah, let me know what you did down in the comment section. So I had a video idea and this list got long, so I had to actually cut it. And what this video is going to be is 5 money-saving DIY beauty treatments that I do at home. And I've done these at home for a very long time. And it's not just to save money, because it certainly does save money, but it's also just a lot easier in a lot of cases. And so I'm gonna share with you my DIY beauty treatments, only 5 of them. I do have more, so if you like this kind of video, please hit like and let me know down in the comment section. And if you do, I'll do a part 2. So I'm going to share with you the 5 that I wrote down for this video. And the first one is, I always whiten my teeth seasonally. I usually go to the drugstore and purchase a box of Crest white strips, and they have really come a long way. I remember when they were like wax lips that you would eat at Halloween time when you were a kid, and you would just kind of squeeze them on your teeth and then they would get saliva in them, and they were just so hard to work with. But now they're like a sticker, and you just stick them on your teeth, top and bottom, and let them marinate for however long, depending on which box you choose. Some are express white and some are just like a little more days with less time using them. And I really think that they're effective. And my dentist did say they're fine. You never want to leave a lot of hydrogen peroxide sitting on your teeth for long periods of time, but they are expensive and they've gone up. Now for a box of 7 days, upper and lower Crest white strips, they're as high as like $40 or $50, depending on where you purchase them and if you have a coupon and so on and so forth. So I've gone back to just doing my home remedy, which is very, very effective. In fact, when I first started doing this with my girls, when they were back in high school, I thought that it could potentially damage the enamel on our teeth. So you do have to be very careful. Again, the active ingredient is hydrogen peroxide, and you don't want hydrogen peroxide sitting on your teeth for long periods of time. But basically what I do is take hydrogen peroxide that you can purchase at any superstore, any drugstore, even your grocery store, and Arm & Hammer baking soda that you bake with. And I take equal parts, like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of each, and put them in a little dish and mix them together to make a paste. And then I purchase really super soft toothbrushes on Amazon. Even baby toothbrushes are fine because they're so small and the bristles are so soft that they can really get in between your teeth, but sometimes they're really tiny. So sometimes just a really good, super soft toothbrush will do the trick. Mix your toothbrush into the paste, and I basically work it all around my teeth. I just sit down on my bed and look at Instagram or YouTube, watch a video for about 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, as long as I can stand. And then I go rinse my teeth out really well and get all the peroxide off. It does really remove any like coffee stains, tea stains, just the ordinary staining that you get on your teeth. I haven't done it in a while, so my teeth might not be looking as white as they do after I do a treatment, but I'm going to be doing that this week, and I basically do it for 7 days in a row. And by the time I'm done, I feel that it whitens my teeth maybe a couple of shades, and it whitens them to the point that after I get a good teeth cleaning. So it looks like I've had a really good teeth cleaning, and I do it once seasonally because I only get my teeth cleaned twice a year, and I'm actually behind, so I really need to go. And that's the other thing, so I really need to get on this because I don't want my teeth to turn yellow. So that's my first tip, and talk to your dentist and see if that's good for you. And again, my dentist said as long as you're not leaving the hydrogen peroxide in a really strong amount all over your teeth. My daughters and I used to actually add a couple drops of lemon juice and a little more baking soda to make it creamy but not gritty, and then just work that in, and that was really, really whitening. And I was afraid that it was harming our enamel, so we stopped adding the lemon juice. So that's my first tip, and it's a good money saving tip, because instead of spending $40 some for your crust white strips, or even more getting professional teeth whitening done, you're just spending a couple of dollars. You can get the toothbrush for about less than $1. You can get the baking soda for about $1 if you go to like Aldi or somewhere like that. And then hydrogen peroxide, that might cost you $2 or $3. I can't remember. So it's definitely worth it, in my opinion. Okay, the next thing is a supplement. And I've talked about this on my channel once before. I'm always nervous to recommend supplements because anything that you ingest, any kind of supplement or vitamins, I think you always need to talk to your doctor, because what I'm doing works for me and my body, but it might not work for you. I don't know that it won't interact with medications you're already taking. So definitely do your own research. And I'm going to say that about every single thing that I'm recommending. Do your own research. And I think that's why I haven't put this into a video, because I never want to give you guys bad advice that might potentially harm you. So do your own research and speak to your doctor or healthcare provider if you have concerns before you start any kind of new exercise program or supplements or vitamins or anything like that. Okay, so disclaimer is done. Now, I have recommended this once before, and I'm going to try to keep this brief, so it's going to be concise. So just Google this. You can watch YouTube videos of doctors talking about this, about dentists talking about this, and people swear by it. It's been thoroughly studied as being effective for what I'm going to tell you that this supplement does. But again, make sure it's right for you. That's your job. My job is just to give you the information. Okay, so the supplement that I want to tell you about is vitamin K2 with D3. And the K2 is MK7. And so this is what it looks like. And K2 is best absorbed with D3, and you want to make sure it's MK7. And I've been taking this for years now, and what this does is it takes calcium that is in your bloodstream, calcium that you eat, and it pushes it into your bones. So otherwise it can end up in your bloodstream, in your arteries, and we don't have enough K2 in our American diet to push our calcium into our bones, and it helps increase your bone density, but it has an added benefit of really whitening your teeth. And I've read that it can even repair small cavities. So if you have like a cavity forming, I'm not talking about something festering and abscessed, I'm talking about something just kind of forming, it can help kind of undo that. And it's been thoroughly studied. And how this was found out to be effective is that in countries where fermented foods, such as Asian countries where they eat fermented food called natto, if you live somewhere or even in the United States and you ingest a lot of animal organs, which I know as a child we did, but as an adult, I'm a little bit squeamish nowadays, but I used to love liver. We used to eat beef liver all the time. And I do enjoy sauerkraut, which is a fermented food, and that has K2. But other than that, we don't eat enough fermented foods to get K2 into our diet. And so we don't have our calcium being pushed into our bones where it belongs. So do some research. I have like 1 capsule, and so every night I take 1 capsule, and I've been doing this for years and years, and I swear it whitens my teeth. It helps my teeth stay whiter. But this, I think, has made a huge difference, and it's very well studied. So talk to your dentist or doctor. Research it on YouTube or read articles on it that you can easily understand, but still make sure it's right for you. So this is something that will really help with your teeth and teeth whitening as well. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about is widely talked about in the beauty community on YouTube, so please bear with me, but it is a life-changing hack that you can do easily at home. And so just bear with me because I'm just going to tell you a little story. One time a girlfriend of mine had a friend who's an esthetician come to her home, and she invited a group of us to get a facial. And that day I had dermaplaning done professionally for the very first time. And she used a professional dermaplaning tool and basically went around my entire face with this tool and removed every bit of peach fuzz on my face. And then it also removed like dead skin cells. The blade is very, very sharp. So she was a professional and did this daily all the time, and I felt comfortable. But when I was done, my face was so red and irritated and inflamed that some of the women who were planning on doing the same thing decided not to do it after they saw my skin. I will say though, there were a couple of women who did it after me, and they did not have the same amount of inflammation and redness. I'm just a fair-skinned redhead and sensitive-skinned. So even simple things like me working out, sometimes when I'm done, people think like I need emergency help, but I just get splotchy and red, and that's how I am. And if you're a redhead, you know, you know. So anyways, after it was done though, my face was as smooth as a baby's bottom. She took off all the peach fuzz. That was the very first time I ever had anything like that done. And there were just gobs and gobs of peach fuzz. She would hold it up and show me, and there were like dead skin cells. And I was like, oh my gosh. So after everything kind of subsided, the redness and all that, a couple days later, I noticed that my skin looked really good. My makeup laid on my face very smoothly, and it had a benefit of my serums and products that I use on my skin soaking in a lot better because they didn't have to get through a barrier of peach fuzz, which I had plenty, and kind of like dead skin cells hanging around. Even though I do exfoliate, this was different. So since then, I've been taking that into my own hands, but I will not use a dermaplaning tool. You can get them, but I wouldn't recommend it. They're razor sharp, and in the wrong hands, they could really hurt you. But I use Tinkle razors, and I order these on Amazon, and you get a big old box. I think there's 36 of them in here, and they come in different colors. I need to get more pretty soon. And they look like this. This is a new one. And basically, pretty much every night, I tackle something on my face. I do weekly, like an entire face shaving. So this looks like this. It's a little bit longer than a brow shaver. Those can be really tiny. And it looks like this. And so basically once a week, I start at the top of my head and I just go around. I hold my brow in my hand because you can take off your brow very easily. And this area, you have to be careful because you've got your hair in your brow. And I'm so careful with tiny little swipes. And I always have a lot of fuzz there. So I really need that once a week. And then I work my way down and I do my entire face. That's what I do. and my face is so soft, but it's not irritated because this isn't as sharp as the dermaplaning tool, and it doesn't give you the super close shave that gave me, which was kind of irritating to my skin. So what I do every single day is every night after my shower, I have one of these mirrors. It has suction cups on the back, which are presently hanging on the mirror. And I put this on there, and this is like 10 or 15 times magnification. You can find these on Amazon too. They're really inexpensive. And I get as close to it as I can because I can really see then. And I always get my little mustache here every single night, and then I get kind of close here because I even get like little fuzz, like little, like not whiskers, but almost here. And I go around. I even go like this, even though I can't see anything there. Have you ever talked to someone, like you're outside in the sun and you can, you know, when the light hits, you can see whiskers or her long hairs, and I don't want that to happen. So I even do that, and it helps my skincare soak in. It helps my makeup lay really flat and smooth, and it gives your skin like a reflective quality then, whereas if you have peach fuzz or dead skin cells laying on top, it won't reflect light the same way. So it's a tip to get beautiful skin at home. Again, proceed at your own risk, but if you're careful and you just go slowly and carefully, and if you've got any children or anyone in your house, keep these away from them. And I will tell you to throw it away every day and get a new one, but I don't. And don't do what I do. I basically just kind of dip it in some alcohol and wipe it off, and I use it for about a week. If I go anywhere near my nose, I will get rid of it right away. Okay, now that we're talking about skincare, I'm going to tell you something that I'm doing that's very inexpensive. You all who follow me probably know I've used Retin-A on my skin since I was a teenager. I've probably used it 30 some years total, because when I was in my late teens, I got it for oily skin and acne. And I don't remember what strength it was. I don't remember. I just remember having a tube of that and using that. And then throughout my 20s, I did as well. Then when I got to be about 27 and I got pregnant for the first time, I stopped using it. And I have 4 children, and I did have 1 miscarriage, like a late miscarriage in there. So I was pretty much pregnant or nursing from 27 to 37. So my 30s were kind of like a bust in terms of using Retin-A, and I went on to like retinol during that time. But then once I turned into my 40s, I started using Retin-A again, and I used Refisa, which is a very emollient Retin-A. It's tretinoin, the pure form of retinoic acid. Your body doesn't need to make any conversion steps. It can just utilize it, and it is the most well-studied ingredient in skincare. And I was watching some dermatologists. I'll link their video down below. Their video was called, Is Tretinoin a Goat? Or Is Tretinoin Goat? And I was like, what is this about? So I started watching the video, and basically goat, if you hear it in the young hipster generation on YouTube or anywhere on social media, it stands for greatest of all time. And they said that basically it was, and they gave tips on how to use it and what to use it with at different times. And it was a good video. And I have been lately using retinoic acid from Aven because I find that my tretinoin can irritate my skin as I'm getting older and menopausal, and my skin is changing. So I haven't been able to use my tretinoin as much, but I told all of you guys a few months back that I use this as like a mini peel. I want to keep it in my rotation, so I will do like a treatment and then go back to more nourishing skincare. But I was talking to my dermatologist, and she said, well, you really can use tretinoin. You don't have to work up to the strongest percentage or every night, because when on YouTube, you'll hear a lot of people say, start with 0.25 and then use that, and then bump up to 0.5 and then bump up to 1% and use it every night, increase your nights. And she's like, that, no, it doesn't matter. It's still going to do the same thing. It just might take longer. And since I've always taken care of my skin, it's not like I have any urgency that I need my skin to completely like be transformed in a year. You know, I just want to maintain everything. And so she recommended tretinoin 0.025. This is the lower percentage, but it is retinoic acid. And my body doesn't need to use any conversion steps. It can just use it right up. But the benefit is that I can use this every single night. And I have been for about a month now. The reason why I'm mentioning this is that I have the tretinoin 0.025% cream. And when it was first called into the pharmacy, it was the gel, and my insurance wouldn't cover it. Well, first she called in Rafisa for me, and it was going to be like $200. My insurance wouldn't cover it. So then she suggested I do this, and then she called in the gel. I don't know why. And my insurance wouldn't cover that, but my insurance would cover the cream. So I have the cream, and it was $13 with GoodRx. So I can just go to the pharmacy, pick up my little tube when I run out, and it's gonna cost me $13. And this is the best thing for anti-aging and renewing your cells and programming them to behave like young cells again. And you can listen to any dermatologist on YouTube, your dermatologist, read articles. There is a vast array of studies done, or there are a vast array of studies done, and you know, the information is there and the science is there. So this is what I'm doing now every single night. Okay, and the last thing is my body skin. I recently talked about my body skin, and I showed Glytone on my channel, and Glytone is a very strong glycolic lotion. It's expensive, but it can really help kind of exfoliate your skin. It can help improve dark spots and all that on your body skin and help firm it and all that. But it makes me really itchy in the winter months. And in the summer months, it removes my self-tan. Not that I'm that dark, but if you are a redhead or know a redhead, you know how white I probably am without my self-tan. So what I'm using is something I got away from, and it's really, really good. And I'm gonna recommend 2 very inexpensive products that you can try. So I have my glasses on because I did write notes about this product, and I can't use the Glytone because it removes my self-tan. It makes me itchy in the winter months, but this is something I've used on and off, and it's something I'm currently using, and it's the Cetaphil for cracked skin. And it has urea in it. Urea is a keratolytic ingredient. So your skin cells can build up. They're made of protein and keratin, and this breaks up the dead skin cells sitting on top, and it helps really moisturize your skin. So not only does urea remove dead skin cells, but it also acts as a humectant and really moisturizes your skin. So the one that I really like is the one for rough and bumpy skin, but I ran out. And that one has 20% urea, but it has glycerin in it, and glycerin anchors moisture. Like, you can put a lot of moisture on your skin, but if you don't have something like glycerin, dimethicone, some of those things that kind of anchor the moisture, then you know, it's not going to work. So that one has glycerin, and it doesn't make me itchy, and it doesn't remove my self-tan any quicker either. But this one has 10% lactic acid and urea. So I think it's probably about as strong, maybe not quite as strong, but it really, really moisturizes my skin and leaves it so, so soft. Like, even my husband's like, your skin is so soft, because it removes all that dead skin. Like, even my elbows are super soft, and my knees, and I like to use it on my hands, and it's almost like a little bit greasy. So when you put it on your skin will be like, I use it at night mainly, but it will leave your skin like a little bit greasy. And so after I rub it in and have it on my arms and stuff, after my shower, sometimes I'll even take what's left over and kind of just rub it on my face, and it seems to go okay. It doesn't clog up my pores or anything. So yeah, you can try it and use it a little bit here and there and see how you tolerate it. It should be well tolerated. This is like not a lot of urea, but it does have enough to be effective, and it's accompanied by dimethicone and lactic acid and a lot of other really soothing ingredients. If you find a product like this to be a little strong, something else that I like to do in the winter months is get the same exact one that has shea butter in it. So where this one says it has urea, that one says with shea butter. And that one is just super moisturizing. You'll like just drench yourself in moisture, and it smells pretty good too. So anyways, I think I'm gonna stop here, even though I have a couple more I wanted to share with you. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, drop me a comment and say hello, and let me know about any like DIY affordable beauty hacks you have going on in your life, because this is the kind of stuff we forget to share. We talk about makeup, we talk about skincare, but we don't talk about like all these little intricate things that really do help. You know, they help in a big way. So anyways, thank you for spending some time with me. I know your time is precious and I really appreciate it. Have a blessed and beautiful day.